Welcome to our fun weekly training here on the Spa Marketing Made Easy podcast. I love doing these live sessions with you guys. They're so fun. They're so interactive. And it's just great to be able to share information directly. So today I want to talk to you about the biggest mistake that spa owners are making when they're planning events. And here's the deal. We have had a lot of incredible Growth Factor members on our podcast sharing their successes. We had Taylor who did 61,000 at her first event. We had Carrie who did 90,000 at her first event. We had Allison who did 68,000 at her event. So you're hearing these big shiny numbers, and there's so many type A spa owners out there that are like, well, I'm just going to do all the things. Like, I want a $90,000 event. I want whatever. And so they're just going at it full force, when the reality is that it's the most simple thing that they're missing. And let me just say what this is. It's not getting clear on what the purpose of the event is. Now, inside of Growth Factor, we actually have a Monday board. Monday is our project management software that we use for everything, for running our company, for planning projects, all of that kind of stuff. And it'll walk you through. And the very first thing that it says is, what is your goal for the event? And it's such a simple question, but this is really where so many spa owners are going wrong. There's so many different types of event. So are you planning on revenue generation? Are you planning on, did you maybe recently hire a new provider and you're wanting to get that new provider booked? Are you wanting to introduce a new product line or a new service? Maybe you just bought a hydrofacial machine, or you're starting to do, the salt facial or something, so figuring out how am I going to launch this particular new service? From there, once we understand what the goal is, then we create the offer. Okay. So it may be a special promotion with this particular provider. It may be 20% off of everything. It may be package pricing, but that offer is going to be based on what the goal is. Okay. And so let's say that your goal is for revenue generation. All right. Which a lot of people are going to say, yes, I want all the things, right? Well, we need to make sure that you actually have the services that it makes sense to be able to bring in that amount of revenue. I want to share a story here, an example. So I have worked with a spa owner who had an incredible event, did not get a ton of cash collected, but got a ton of appointments booked over the course of, the next 2 to 3 months. So is that a success, right? Well, it depends on what the goal is. So if you have someone that has this big kind of soiree, gets tremendous amount of brand recognition, brand exposure, and gets them to actually book appointments with their providers, maybe you only brought in 5 or 10,000 from your actual cash collected that night. But think about the amount of sales that are going to come in from those people who booked appointments, right? And then you actually have the opportunity to rebook them, to upsell them, all of the different things. So all of that revenue is essentially being generated from that event, even though the cash is not collected at that event. Okay. So could it still be $100,000 event? Absolutely. Right. It's just not the cash collected is all at that time. Now, if you're wanting the cash collected ahead of time, then you're going to be selling packages, right? You're going to be selling higher priced items, or maybe they're paying for their facials for a year. Maybe they're paying for, figure out what that looks like. So you're collecting the cash up front. That is only suggested if you're in a big growth phase, right? Because you don't want to have all of your existing clients pay for their facials for a year in advance, and then what cash is going to come in month after month. This strategy works well if you're regularly getting new clients, you're growing, you're hiring, you're expanding, all of that. You're getting those people to commit to you and commit to coming in, but you still will have to gain new clients to fill in the gaps and get that cash collected month after month to be consistent, right? So the other piece is if you are focusing on, maybe you have a membership and you're wanting to do a members only event. Your members only event, it's, the purpose of it is to get your members to absolutely just be head over heels in love with that membership, and they're never going to cancel no matter what, right? The way that you're going to throw an event like that to make them feel so valued and so seen and heard and just like, wow, there's no way I'm going to cancel this. That's a very different planning process than I'm trying to introduce myself and what my core values are and who I am as a company to someone new, right? So are you seeing what I'm like, the differences here that I'm talking about? You've got to get crystal clear on what the purpose of your event is before you come up with your offer, before you start to market it, right? And marketing goes into email marketing, it goes into direct mail, it goes into paid advertising, it goes into businesses that you're going to reach out. Like, you absolutely need to know what this event is for and what the intended outcome is, what makes it a success before you do all the things. Okay. So I'm seeing now so many spa owners say, I want to do an event and I want to do all the things, but that is where and why they're falling short, is because they're not crystal clear on what the purpose is. So again, don't look at it as a success only if you're cash collecting 90,000, right? Like, there's so many other ways that you can be incredibly successful and still collect cash in your business. It's just over a wider stance of time. All right. So I want you to think about that. I want you to get crystal clear on what is your path to success. How is an event going to support you and the specific goals that you have for your business right now? Okay. So a way that a lot of people also are doing it is once a year, the big open house type of event that you're wanting to attract new clients, and then maybe quarterly doing more focused, small, intentional events, either for your members or for getting a new provider busy or introducing a new service, etc. All right. So this is a short but sweet episode on a very, very critical point for any of you that are wanting to do events. All right. Don't miss this part. Get clear on what the outcome is. If you have any questions, comment below, let me know, tag us here in the group. We're more than happy to help. But again, that is the most important part, and best of luck to all of you who are planning events. All right. Catch you guys on the next episode.